But it's very important, and that's the point of this video, to inspect them before you put them in the bag. You want to set aside the ones that have any sort of imperfection or compromised in some way. If there's a hole in it, looks like something burrowed into it, you put that aside. So here I've got this. Hey, it's Greg here with MaritimeGardening.com, and I thought I'd do a quick video on storing potatoes. I've done videos like this before, and I've answered lots of questions about them, and I just had a couple little points I thought I'd make just a quick video here. You know, when you grow in a place with a short growing season, it makes a lot of sense to grow a lot, especially if you have a large garden, grow a lot of things that you can pick and store for later if you've got the right environment for storage. A garage here tends to work very well. If things are sitting on the floor stays cool. It doesn't freeze, but it stays cool all winter long. This isn't heated. It actually has a heater in it, baseboard heater, but I have the thermostat set to 0, and it's basically on the side of and underneath my house. So it stays around 5 to 8 degrees Celsius all winter long, which is even if it's minus 20 outside. So it's just the right environment for storing root crops and squash and stuff like that. So I've talked about a technique where I put them in a cardboard box. You have a layer of potatoes, layer of cardboard, layer of potatoes, layer of cardboard, bit of newspaper on top, close the box up, and just take them as you need them. That's a great way to do it. Another way to do it, as I'm doing right now, is to put them in like a supermarket bag sort of thing. It's just another approach. You wouldn't want the bag to be too big. You want it small so that there isn't too much weight of potatoes sitting on top of one another. And you want it to be such that, you know, it keeps the light out. You might want to double bag it if it's a thin paper. But you want the potatoes to be in the dark. You want them to think they're underground, right? So the process is you pick the, at least what I do anyway, I pick the potatoes, and then I lay them out somewhere in the sun for an hour or two, and I move them around with a broom a little bit to sort of get the dust off and just to dry them out, right? Pick them out of the ground. It's good to pick them on a dry day as well, like if it hasn't rained for a number of days, so there isn't too much mud or dirt attached to them, soil. So anyway, I leave them out in the sun for a couple hours like that, and then I bring them in here. And people will say, oh, you can't have them in the sun, they'll turn green, and that's toxic, and that's bad, and so on and so forth. After a couple hours, it's really not going to do anything. It's going to be fine. So then I bring them into my garage here, where the lights are off most of the time, and I spread them out on a piece of cardboard like this, space them out a bit so I get some room, and I leave them here for a week, give or take. I basically leave them here until I think, you know, by examining them, I can tell they're fully dried out, right? And then the point is to put them in the bag. But it's very important, and that's the point of this video, to inspect them before you put them in the bag. You want to set aside the ones that have any sort of imperfection or compromised in some way. If there's a hole in it, looks like something's burrowed into it, you put that aside. So here I've got this big, beautiful russet Burbank potato, but it looks to me like there's a bit of a hole right there, sort of thing, right? It's a minor hole, doesn't look like much, but I don't know if there's something in there. I don't know what's going on with that hole. So I'll put that aside. I'll just cut that part away, and you know, over the next couple of weeks, these ones go upstairs and go in the fridge, and these are the ones I eat right away. And then all the other ones, they go in the long storage. So the process, all I do is I pick them up and just roll them around in my hand. It doesn't take long, and just sort of, you know, if there's any soil still attached to them, if there's this one's got a hole, I think it's probably okay, but I'm still going to put it aside. It's not really a hole, it's more like a dent. But it looks suspicious. This one here, I'm just brushing the dust off of, you know, they don't have to be perfect. Certainly don't wash these with water and stuff like that. I mean, you're not selling these at a market. They're for you, right? And the potatoes don't mind having a bit of soil on them. You just want to get the bulk of that off, mainly so that they stay the right humidity, right? If there's all kinds of soil caked onto them, that might attract moisture. It's fairly humid where I live. This is a garage, and it's got a garage door, and it's certainly more humid in here than the house most of the time because the garage door is not airtight. So once you've dusted them off and you're sure that they're okay, you just put them in the bag, right? And I just keep going like that until the bag's full, and then I just sort of roll the bag over and put it upside down. I find some corner to put it in the garage and just put it on the floor. That tends to work out really well. I'm just saying this. I mean, today's a perfect example. So I want to put these away. They've been here for about a week, almost a week, and they're dry and they're ready to be stored. And I don't want one of my kids to step on them, or for someone to come in here and leave the lights on all night and have them exposed to light and that sort of thing. I want to get them put away, but I just don't happen to have any cardboard boxes handy to put them in. And I don't feel like driving to the drugstore and rooting through the dumpster and that sort of stuff, you know, the recycling dumpster. But I've got this bag and it's totally fine. So the ones I have in boxes, I sort of treat those as the long storage ones, and the ones that are in the bags, I use those ones up first. These are the last of the potatoes that I harvested this year. I just harvested them last weekend, and it's time to store them and put them away. So yeah, that's the process. You just dust them off, and you know, by dusting the dirt off, it sort of forces you to give them a good look. Don't be too rough, be gentle. Put them in the bag, and put the bag somewhere reasonably cool. They should keep. I mean, even if you didn't put them somewhere cool, like if, let's say you had a house where it didn't stay that cool, they'll still keep for quite a while like that, right? And you can also put them in the bottom of your fridge or whatever. But it's got to be above zero, and yeah, it's got to be dark. But that's all you got to do. And they're dead easy to store, so they're just the perfect root crop to grow for storage. So yeah, just a couple points on that, how I do it. Hope you found that interesting. Hope it answered some questions. If you like this, please share, subscribe, check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. Click the little bell if you want to be notified when I make new videos. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.